Okay, you know the scene, right? Something breaks. The car won't start, the sink's stripping, the laptop's just dead. Now, most of us, what do? We grab our phones. But there's this certain kind of person who does something completely different. And what they do in that moment, well, it tells us something really deep about how we can connect better with the world and, honestly, with ourselves. It's not panic, right? And it's not frustration. It's quieter. It's this intense focus. The source I'm drawing from for this explainer puts it perfectly. It says, he just stands there, stares at the problem, and something shifts in his face. So what is going on in that moment? In that stillness? What's happening behind their eyes? Because here's the thing, and you'll see this as we go. The broken object was never really the point. All right, so let's really dig into this. We've got to zoom in on that first reaction, that moment of intense focus. Yeah, this really lays it out, doesn't it? The common reaction? You call someone, you scroll for answers, you basically just outsource the problem. But the fixer? They do the opposite. They lean in. They actually engage with the problem instead of trying to get rid of it. And this is so important to get. It might look like stubbornness from the outside, but it's not. It's a whole philosophy. It's this belief, whether they know it or not, that says, hey, this problem isn't a stop sign. It's an invitation to figure something out. And believe it or not, this philosophy, it's not just a mindset. It has a real physical impact. It literally starts to rewire your brain. So let's get into how that actually works. So in that quiet moment, something amazing is going on in their head. They're not just looking at a broken thing, they are building a complete mental map of an invisible system, all the moving parts, how they connect, and they're holding it all in their mind at once. And they're pulling in all this data at the same time. What did it used to sound like? What does it sound like now? What's its history? Has it failed before? How does it feel? The vibration, even the smell. All of this is getting cross-referenced against this huge library of experience that's stored in their hands, not in words. Now, there's actually a name for this. Scientists call it embodied cognition. It's this fascinating idea that our knowledge isn't just up in our brains. It actually lives in our bodies, in our hands. And it gets built through all that messy hands-on stuff, experience, repetition, and this is a big one, failure. And this quote just nails it, right? It just felt off. If you ever ask someone like this how they knew what was wrong, this is the kind of answer you get. They can't always give you a step-by-step breakdown. They're not being vague. They're just telling you the truth. That knowledge, it literally lives below the level of words. So when you start to trust that felt knowledge, that gut feeling, it's not just a skill anymore. It grows into a whole philosophy, a way of seeing the world. And what's really key here is that this builds a certain kind of person, someone who deeply trusts their own eyes and ears, someone who's a little skeptical of what the experts or the manuals say. They develop this bias for direct, hands-on experience over just reading about it in a book. They've learned the hard way that the official instructions don't always tell the whole story. And the work itself just reinforces this mindset over and over. I mean, think about it. With a lot of our digital work, you can rush things, you can cut corners, the rules are kind of abstract. But with mechanical work, no way. You're dealing with physical laws. You can't rush it. And if you mess up, the consequences are right there in front of you. That teaches you a lesson about patience and doing things in the right order. That applies to everything in life. So if you can't learn this stuff from a book, how is it passed down? Well, the answer usually comes down to one thing: mentorship. The way this gets taught is just fascinating. It's almost never a formal lesson. It's more like this. A mentor could be a dad, an older coworker. They just watch the problem for a second. Then they hand over a tool, usually without saying a word. And then they just wait. They let you struggle with it. Because what's being passed on isn't just how to use a wrench. It's an entire way of relating to difficult things. And because this knowledge is passed on through a real human connection, it gets wired right into your identity. It's not just something you do. It becomes a part of who you are. That first time you fix something yourself, you don't remember the machine. You remember the moment you realized, wow, I can do this. Which brings us to the huge psychological payoff here. This kind of work feeds a really deep, fundamental human need. It's the need for agency, for feeling like you're in control. Something that, let's be honest, a lot of us feel is missing today.
Yeah, when you learn over and over again that problems give way to your focus and patience, you develop what psychologists call an internal locus of control. It's a fancy term for a simple, powerful idea. The belief that you are in the driver's seat of your own life, that your effort matters more than luck or what other people do. But listen, this isn't just some feel-good mantra from a self-help book. This kind of faith isn't handed to you. It's earned. It's built, brick by brick, one solved problem at a time. It's like a muscle, and it only gets stronger by pushing against something that resists. And just think about how rare that is today. So much of our modern life is ambiguous. Did that presentation go well? Was that email phrased okay? Who knows, right? But a machine, it was broken, and now it works. The feedback is absolute. It's not up for debate. That kind of clarity is more than just satisfying. It's like a psychological anchor in a stormy sea. And man, is that kind of stability needed right now. There's research showing that over 75% of young men who are struggling with their mental health don't actually go get help. So for a lot of people who are feeling lost, something that looks like just tinkering in the garage, it's actually a profound way of rebuilding a sense of control and competence, literally from the ground up. So what this all points to, really, is a massive disconnect in our modern world, where so much is abstract and intangible. And that brings us to the heart of it all, the real takeaway from this explainer. That quiet confidence, that ability to not panic when things get messy, it was never, ever about the machine. The work, that was just the gym. It was always about what kind of person they were building themselves to be. So the final question I want to leave you with, it's not, can you fix a car? The real question is this: where in your life is the feedback real? Where does your effort produce a direct, honest, undeniable result? Because finding that place, whether it's in a garage, a garden, a kitchen, wherever, that might just be the secret to building the parts of yourself that can never be broken.